thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, bro. I know you're very, very, very busy, especially the interest rates went down, right?
Absolutely, they went down.
So is it a good time to buy?
Well, it's March break right now, and I am not anywhere except here in Montreal, and I don't even have time to spend with my kids at Sky Zone today.
Okay.
They're with my wife, so I'm working. It's going to be nonstop, and I've decided to take my kids to Mexico later this month. Around my birthday, actually. My birthday's 2 weeks away.
Let's talk about that coronavirus.
Yes.
Right? People are panicking right now. Talk to us about that related with the economy.
Yes. Well, first things first, let's make sure it has nothing to do with the beer. Because if you see what's going on in the States, there's people actually spilling Corona beers down, the drain because they think coronavirus.
But apparently Corona, the company, lost $150 million just because of that.
And hence why they changed the name to COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yes,
that
was one of the reasons.
Okay, didn't know.
So from what I heard, at least. So look, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a doctor or pretend to be one, because I actually have clients who are doctors, and they would be hating on me for this. But for the actual virus itself, I can't say much. One being that, like they're saying, wash your hands. Make sure that you're taking care of your hygiene first.
Of course.
Wearing a mask around airports or around the city of Montreal. I just saw someone walking on St. Catherine wearing a mask. Actually, won't change anything, because if you look at the recent deaths, especially the 2 in Washington State, they were actually caused by COVID, but both people were elderly and had underlying issues with their health.
Mm-hmm.
So coming back to your question, and how it's going to affect the markets and just finance in general, we saw a market crash last week, and we saw the TSX halting trading due to a glitch in the system. And what we're seeing in the real estate market is really Chinese who are coming over and investing are not coming as much as they were before, because you have to understand a lot of people are scared to travel right now.
Mm-hmm.
So there's less buyers in the market. We see it, but it's not just the Chinese. I mean, I just heard on the news this morning that people in Greece were quarantined.
Yep.
Italy.
More than Greece. Yeah.
And India has...
There was only one in Greece. Right?
Absolutely. India has 1.3 billion people, but they have less cases than these other places.
I think Greece has other problems to fix right now.
With the Turks?
Yes.
Let's not get into that.
No.
Absolutely. So I think it'll affect the markets. I think everything affects the markets. I think weather affects the markets, politics affects the markets, health issues with the World Health Organization affect the markets. I think Montreal is a very cosmopolitan city. We're a melting pot regarding all the ethnicities that are here. So with people coming and going, there's a lot of outside investment. There's a lot of travel, which is connected to the Montreal market. Like New York City, like Toronto, but in New York and Toronto, a lot of the locals are buying. In Montreal, you're seeing a lot of, Arabic, people of Arabic background, United Arab Emirates, Dubai, Chinese, even people from the Swiss. I met with clients last year who came here from Sicily, to buy condos. So I think it will affect, but I don't have a crystal ball, so I won't say for sure.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your opinion.
Thank you.
Right. Now let's talk about the Montreal market right now. Now we do, obviously, for the people that are watching this episode and multiple episodes, yes, we had a couple of very successful and educated realtors sitting where you're sitting right now.
Yes.
Right? And everybody has different opinions.
Absolutely.
Your niche, correct me if I'm wrong, is new construction, right?
Yes. So I got my start in real estate. I've been doing this for 12 years. I got my license in 2008. And when I started, I was literally a fish out of water. I had no idea what was going on. I tried to reinvent the wheel. I'm not going to sit here and lie.
I think like everybody did.
Yeah, so I tried to
reinvent
the wheel.
Right?
Exactly. And you come into the office and, you have a lot of energy. And everyone tells you can't reinvent the wheel. It's very basic. You have to work hard, you have to network, you have to get in front of people, and you need listings. So I tried to reinvent the wheel and it didn't work. In 2012, I got a break. The break was with Tour des Canadiens, phase 1. The VP from Montreal had a lunch and learn in Montreal, invited all types of brokers. Some showed, some didn't. I was one of the ones that showed. In fact, I was thinking of not showing but my wife called me and said, you better be at that lunch because 1, you're a diehard Habs fan, 2, you're a realtor, and you're invited.
And you cannot say no to your wife because happy wife, happy life. Right?
So actually, you know what? I live by that motto. So basically what happened was I went to the Lunch and Learn, and they gave everyone a lanyard with a pass, and it said VIP agent on it. What we had at the time was we had platinum status, and Montreal wasn't used to new construction projects being available for brokers to sell. Back in the day, new construction projects would try to sell with brokers, but offer the collaborating broker $1,500, whereas the collaborating broker, when you resell a home, is making anywhere between 2 and 3%. So they wouldn't sell it, and the sales office would sell direct. So Tour des Canadiens come into town, and they say, we are going to pay all of you to sell our product. So what's the first thing I did? I went home with a lanyard, a jersey, and a hat that said VIP agent on it, and I posted it everywhere I knew I could at the time. Instagram wasn't that big, Facebook was very big, and mass email marketing through MailChimp and other platforms. So long story short, what happened was I got my break. A lot of people started contacting me. Next thing you know, people were saying, well, this guy's selling for the Montreal Canadiens. It wasn't just me selling for the Montreal Canadiens. It was the brokers that took the opportunity and ran with it. After that, it was just one project after another. Broccolini came out with L'Avenue. There was Le Peterson, which is a hop, skip, and a jump away from your office. And you had all these projects popping up. Now, more projects than ever. Companies like Brivia Group that have done YUL. They've done Stanbrook Rentals. They're doing 61 stories, Square Phillips. Again, right around the corner from your office. And these are projects that I've worked at, which got me into my sub-brand or sub-business within real estate, which is called Pre-Sales Montreal. It's a platform or a portal where everyone can go, see all the floor plans, all the projects.
You have a YouTube channel too, I think, right?
Yes, YouTube channel as well, and which is Raymond Singh. You go to YouTube, just type in Raymond Singh. And Pre-Sales Montreal, which is basically a platform where you can see every new construction project that I work on and I believe in, because there are some that I don't believe in. So I would say 70% of my business is new construction and condos, 30% is resale in the suburbs and in downtown. That will change because I don't think that we're going to see towers going up and cranes on every corner for much longer.
Very true. It's not like Toronto, right?
Absolutely.
Toronto's booming, apparently. There's the prediction in the next few years there's going to be 9 million compared to 5.
Yes, 9 million, and you're lucky to get a good condo at $1,500 a foot there, which was the price in Manhattan about 15 years ago.
Crazy.
So Toronto is the New York of Canada. And Montreal and Toronto are seeing the Manhattanization of its downtown cores. So what I think is going to happen is, I think in Montreal, since we're on an island, and there's only so many parking spots or parking lots to go around. And the thing we have in Montreal is we have heritage buildings, right? So the heritage buildings can't be torn down. So either you maintain the facade, like Broccolini is doing in Old Montreal right now at 628, or you don't build there. So we have a lot of red tape that we have to work around, including Montreal. You can't build higher than Montreal.
Do you think there's going to be a correction very soon?
I do not think there's going to be a correction in Montreal. I think that in Montreal what's happening is Montreal is tea and Toronto and Vancouver is coffee. So when you have a coffee, you go like that. When you have tea, you kind of go like that, right? So in Montreal, I think what's going to happen is we're going to see steady increase. And then like in the mid to late 2000s, there's going to be a plateau.
Okay.
This is what I feel. You've had a lot of educated and very experienced real estate brokers that have been, sitting in this car in your studio that might think otherwise, but this is my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really see a correction here. I see stability. I see us plateauing off, and what plateauing means is the years of 1 to 3% increase in value with more listings on the market and less buyers, rather than 8, 9, 10% increases in market value like we've seen in the condo market over the last 18 months.
And I noticed that you're expanding, or you're selling a lot in the suburbs like Valleyfield and so on and so on.
Yes.
What do you think about that market?
So I personally live very far from downtown. I live in Vaudreuil. Okay, so I grew up in DDO and I live in Vaudreuil now. So Vaudreuil is a suburb. It's actually one of the fastest growing suburbs in all of Canada. And it's 45 minutes approximately without crazy traffic from the downtown core where we are right now. Vaudreuil is booming because Vaudreuil is what Distran and what Centropolis and Laval was in the early 2000s. Okay, so what's happening in Vaudreuil is the hospital's coming. It's been confirmed between 2026 and 2028. We are seeing malls popping up. We're seeing restaurant chains, very popular restaurant chains that have taken off recently in Montreal, opening shop there. So when these big companies are going into areas like Vaudreuil and they're setting up shop, there's a reason to it. Just like there's a reason why companies like Broccolini invest millions and millions of dollars to build towers in the downtown core. It's because they know the numbers, they've done their research, and there's something to it. So Vaudreuil is booming. The suburbs past the West Island is booming. And another reason for that is because areas like the West Island are now becoming very unaffordable.
Especially with the REM, right?
The REM is coming, and I wish
that's
the
gonna
REM
help.
Absolutely. So the REM is coming, and what you're seeing with the REM is connecting from St. Anne de Bellevue, then connecting to the West Island, and then from the West Island you'll be able to go right into the terminal at Trudeau Airport, if I'm not mistaken, and you'll be able to come down here to downtown
Very
where
cool.
the Bell Center is.
Very, very cool. But not in Vaudreuil.
Not in Vaudreuil, I wish. I think our property values would be even higher at that point, but you know what? Never say never. I know they're going to redo the bridge, the Ile Tourte, so you never know what happens.
Let's talk about your brand. You said in the first few years you were struggling. You were paving the road. Now you're rollerblading, right?
Yes.
But what tip can you give to somebody watching this video that just got involved in real estate or that's struggling in real estate?
First things first.
Because correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem.
It's the 80-20 rule, right? Not every agent is successful.
That's right. In fact, my dad just told me that the other day on the phone, and he told me to count my blessings because I was having a tough day. But in real estate, it's very simple. The first things first is don't give up. It takes, you know how they say it takes 10 years to become an overnight success? Mm-hmm. It takes 5 years to be in cruise control mode in real estate. Mm-hmm. So God rest his soul. My late teacher, Louis Ballister, who is no longer with us, told us that when he was teaching us real estate at John Abbott back in 2008, is that at the 5-year mark, you are now in cruise control. That doesn't mean that you could sit back and make hundreds and thousands of dollars or millions of dollars every year. What that means is that people start calling you, and you don't have to call people as much because now they know. They know Jimmy is the guy to sell properties on St. Catherine Street. Or they know Raymond's the guy to sell my penthouse or, my single family home out in the suburbs. So 1, don't give up. 2, stop listening to people, especially the ones that have an opinion about everything, but they haven't done much in their own life. I always tell everyone, take advice from your richest uncle or take advice from the most successful friend you have. There's a reason they are where they are, but we as a society tend to take advice from people that are miserable. And as a society, I think what's happening now more than ever, and social media is there's a part of social media that's to blame for this. It's that as a society, I think we're very, very, very negative now. We're negative about everything. So you could open up your phone and think about how blessed you are, but most of the time people open up their phone and think about how shitty their life is because they see that one of their buddies is in Miami and they're not in Miami, right?
So once again, man, thank you for taking time. How can somebody follow you if they want to follow your success and your journey?
Absolutely. Facebook, Raymond Singh. Facebook business page, Raymond Singh Real Estate. Instagram, Raymond Singh. YouTube, Raymond Singh and Pre-Sales Montreal. Website is raymondsingh.com. Presalesmontreal.com is condos only. And before I go, I gotta say, I absolutely love what you and Nick are doing.
Thank you, man.
I remember seeing one of your first few episodes, and one of them was with John Jay, who's a friend and a client, John Gumbly, and he's a trailblazer, someone I look up to in the Montreal market. And what you guys are doing is phenomenal. Keep doing what you're doing, bud.
Thank you, bro.